This video will help you understand how to implement the program and the different elements of it. I've developed it to be usable by the newest of Christians to the most confident prayer warriors in the church. It comprised of 3 levels of participation, which allows people to be able to immediately step into a role and start making a difference in people's lives. The first level are the planters, the people who plant the seeds. This refers to Christians who are handing out the prayer request cards but don't feel comfortable or confident enough to do anything further at this time. The second level are the nurturers. This refers to Christians who are willing to be more involved with the situation. They might feel more comfortable praying with the person if after giving them a card, the person says they personally have a prayer need. But they might only feel comfortable praying at certain times depending on where they are and who's around. The harvesters is the third level. This refers to Christians who are confident and empowered. A person who feels confident in praying for someone any place or any time. A person who is versed on Scripture that can lead a person through verses, if necessary, regarding their prayer need, and can discern if the opportunity is there to talk to the person about salvation and maybe going to church. What's great about having 3 levels is the Christian does not have to feel like they have to be a spiritual giant to do something for God. They don't have to go into an in-depth training program to become a harvester before they can do anything at all. They can start right where they are. Emotionally and spiritually, whether there be a planter, a nurturer, or a harvester, and allows them to grow into the next level of involvement as they're ready. Instead of a program that only appeals to 2% of the church members, this is a program that could appeal to almost everyone immediately. Now, how many Christians know someone that is struggling with something? Financially, health, a family member, their children, siblings, or parents? Almost everyone does. Even if they haven't felt comfortable talking to that person about God, maybe they'll feel comfortable enough just handing them a prayer request card, stopping by their house, or when they see them the next time. Don't take for granted that everyone in the church knows or feels comfortable praying for someone, or even feels comfortable on what to say when they pray. You can put a short prayer together, a sentence or two, and give it to church members so that they can either remember it or just read it right off that little card when they decide to step up to the next level and start feeling comfortable to pray with people when they find out that there's a prayer need right there. The more direction you provide, the more chance a person will feel comfortable taking the next step. It's important to stress to church members if they feel they are too nervous or hesitant or too shy to participate in the program, they don't have to even talk to the people they're handing the cards to. They can leave it on a table in a restaurant or just smile and hand it to someone. I've been with a person in a restaurant that didn't even look at the cashier after paying for lunch. They just handed the cashier a card and said, "Please take a look at this when you have time." That was it. That was enough. The person took it. The bottom line is creating an environment where the majority of people in the church can immediately feel confident and empowered to step out in faith, and then provide them with the opportunity to move further on as they feel ready. This will also work great as a community door-to-door program. Church members can go out in groups of 2 to introduce themselves to the homeowner and give them a card. If handled properly, the acceptance rate of these cards can be upwards of 90% or better. It's best to have more confident person go with the less confident person, such as a harvester with a planter. The less confident person can learn from how their partner handles a situation. For example, if the resident states they do have a prayer need, the more confident person can ask if the resident would like them to pray for them right there. Or they can use discernment while they're talking to them or praying to see if there's an opening to talk to them about salvation or invite them to church. The important thing is to make sure it is non-intimidating experience for the homeowner. Now, following are some things to consider before implementing the program. It's imperative that the church members believe that God answers prayer. I would put together a strong prayer team that is willing to meet once a week to pray for the church and pray for any cards that come in. I would recommend taking a Wednesday evening or even a Sunday to preach on answered prayer and use all the scriptures you can to build the people's faith. If people do not believe God answers prayers, they have no reason or motivation to step out of their comfort zone and hand out a card to a family member, a friend, or a stranger. It's also imperative that you introduce the prayer team that will be praying for the cards when they come in to the church members. This will build faith in the church members that they know, seeing the people that will be praying, that those are true prayer warriors. I would also do an open invitation to the church and say if anybody else is interested in joining the group on whichever night you're going to pray, to open the door and let them come. Now there's two benefits to this. The church members are developing an all-the-time attitude versus an event attitude. Most Christians will only talk to someone about church or God on either Easter or Christmas. But this prayer request card program can help them get focused on people on a daily basis. For example, we call it the 3-foot rule. If someone's within 3 feet of a person, that's close enough to hand them a card. An example is a very shy woman at a church that started handing out the prayer request cards a few weeks earlier, was at lunch after church with a few other ladies when she heard a woman in the booth behind her say that she had cancer and is scared. This Christian woman said she didn't even think twice about this. She got up, introduced herself to the woman in the booth behind her and said, "I'm sorry, I couldn't help overhearing what you said. My name is such and such. I go to such and such church, and I was wondering if I could pray with you." She said she had never done anything like that before in her life, but she felt that just handing those prayer request cards over the prior weeks helped build her confidence up to a point where obviously she felt good enough to do that. She said that the other ladies at her table joined her in praying, and even a waitress joined them in praying for the woman at the table. This Christian woman said that experience changed her life. Now I know this is true because it happened at the church that I was attending. The second benefit to people is in the community. They're going to realize your church cares. You aren't beating them over the head with the Bible. You aren't trying to get money from them. You are showing them Christian love and compassion with no strings attached. Now, you have to make sure the prayer team and anyone else who comes weekly to pray understands they're meeting for two reasons. One, to pray for God to move in your church and community, and then also to pray for any of the cards that come in during that week. This way, even if no cards are received during the week, the prayer team does not feel like they've wasted their time. They're there to pray. I would also suggest having someone pray for the cards on a daily basis as they come in. It could be a staff member, an associate pastor, a volunteer. Now, this is important to both the church members and to the people that are receiving the cards. Now, consider this. How discouraging would it be if you just handed a prayer request card to someone that is facing a serious struggle and they want and need prayer, only to find out that, oops, sorry, we just prayed for the cards last night. We're not going to pray for them again until a week from now. If the person was seriously interested in receiving prayer, that would feel like they got kicked in the gut. That same feeling applies to the church members handing out the cards. If they feel this is just a once-a-week thing, the people who have to wait a whole week before they're prayed for, they're going to lose excitement. Now, there's many other aspects of this program that can help it work, but these are the main elements. If you have any questions or any thoughts or concerns, or if we can be of any help, please use the contact page, contact us, and we'll see what we can do to continue to help you build this program. Thank you.